Tonight, we will watch the closing ceremonies of the 2014 Winter Olympic Games, and what an Olympics this has been. On this special edition of Eye on New Mexico, we are looking at our champions here at home. While we can't all aspire to be Olympic athletes, we've been showing you each night that New Mexicans have a champion spirit. We're taking a break from politics this morning and revisiting those champions. We start with an influential figure in New Mexico's ski industry. Tom Long is the general manager at Pajarito Mountain Ski Area near Los Alamos. He spent nearly his whole life skiing and even had the chance to show his champion spirit when he carried the Olympic torch in 2002. Tobin has his story.
My heart is now pounding like a bass drum. And I took my torch and put it in the cauldron, and whoop, it lit up, and what a feeling. It was just indescribable.
That was Tom Long 12 years ago. When the Olympic torch made its way through New Mexico on its way to Salt Lake City, he was the one honored to light the cauldron in Civic Plaza, and he still has it in his home today.
This is the actual torch I carried that had the Olympic flame from Mount Olympus in Greece.
Long was chosen to run with the torch because of his work in New Mexico's ski industry. Long started working for Sandia Ski Area in 1966, helping boost the sport locally and coach New Mexicans down the mountain.
You feel freedom, you feel relaxed, you feel joy of movement in space with gravity and with the snow and sliding and being outdoors. You can't beat it.
Today, Long works for the Pajarito Mountain Ski Area, and he makes sure to hit the slopes every day he's working.
I just think skiing has offered me a tremendous opportunity, and to try to share that love and that joy of a sport with people.
And it's a sport that has let him enjoy a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that he will cherish forever.
It's just an incredible feeling and a wonderful, wonderful time.
Reporting in Albuquerque, Kim Tobin, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
Our next champion spirit is a ski coach in Taos. Once an Olympic hopeful in France, Alain Veth came to the U.S. to continue his career, and now he helps young skiers follow their dreams.
This is the view of the mountain that Taos ski coach Alain Veth now likes best.
Here we go.
Training and coaching young New Mexico skiers.
I still have the desire and the thirst of racing.
But his road to New Mexico started years ago in France. That's where Veth got his first taste of skiing at just 3 years old.
I loved it from the get-go, for sure.
As a kid, he remembers the bus that would drop him off at the top of the mountain to ski.
I remember so precisely, never wanted to hop on that bus again. I didn't want to go back down from the mountain. I wanted to stay up there.
Veth says from then on, he was hooked, and eventually he was skiing with the French national ski team. He says 1984 was his window for the Olympics, but it didn't happen.
But that gave me even more boost, to be able to keep on going and pursue some of the dreams that I wanted to have.
So at 21 years old, Veth came to America and continued racing in competitions all over the world.
And out of all places, look at where I am, Taos, New Mexico. And this is as good as it gets. It's a little gem, so to speak.
After 7 years of competing, Veth's days are now spent at Taos Ski Valley, helping young athletes follow their dreams. When we caught up with him, he had 5 students headed to a qualifier for the Junior Olympics.
And of those 5, I hope to qualify 5 of them. That's a goal, and we're going to be really close.
And he uses his successes and setbacks to keep his kids going.
You're going to have hip and valleys, and sometimes you are really high. Believe me, those moments are really rare. And you're going to have to deal a lot with moments of lows. You can take a punch, but you have to get up from it. That's it.
That was Danielle Tedesco reporting our next story. A Santa Fe man is proving that it's never too late to try something new. At the ripe age of 68, he's gliding to victories on the ice, and now figure skating is a big part of it. Kim Tobin shows us his champion spirit.
I call it the fountain of youth.
And it's ice in that fountain that keeps Mark Timoglia feeling young.
You have to keep moving. You have to keep doing something you enjoy.
Timoglia skated as a child on the lakes of Wisconsin. He was excited about the ice rink opening in Santa Fe in 1996 and was the first person in line. But it wasn't until he was 55 that he decided he was serious about figure skating.
It is the closest thing to flying you will find. I mean, the freedom, the joy of accomplishing something after you've tried and tried and tried and tried and failed.
Timoglia decided to throw his whole heart into his new hobby, and he realized it's never too late to discover something new about yourself.
I thought, I'm not competitive, until I competed the first time, and I'm like, ooh, who is that inside me?
Please welcome now Mark Timoglia.
His biggest moment so far was the Adult Nationals competition in Salt Lake City in 2011. Timoglia was competing in the 55 and older category.
There were 8 of us, 5 to 10 years younger than I, and I beat everybody. And that was, without doubt, one of my favorites.
Since then, Timoglia has skated in dozens more competitions. Each day on the ice, he keeps pushing himself to do better because he says it's never too late to chase your dreams. Reporting in Albuquerque, Kim Tobin, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
While Olympic athletes go for the gold in Sochi, one Albuquerque teen is fighting for a spot in the next Winter Olympics. His champion spirit proves he's got a good shot. Here's JP Murrieta.
Meet Luke Kirchgessner. He's 18 years old, and 4 years from now, you might see him on the national stage.
I want to go to the 2018 Olympics in Korea. That's the dream.
I wouldn't put it past him. This New Mexico native has been to regionals 3 times.
Good job.
But a hematoma in his knee last year prevented him from a peak performance.
At times you think like, oh, this could be it, like this could be a career-ending injury, but in the back of my mind, I always know that I'm going to get over it, and even if it hurts, I'm going to be on the ice because that's just what I do.
Luke's love of skating started when he was about 9 years old. He says he loved the cold air in his face, loved being on the ice. Heck, he says he even enjoyed falling. But shortly after, it changed from a recreation he enjoyed to putting in more hours than a full-time job. Luke is out here for practice at least 6 days a week, 2, sometimes 3 times a day.
He pretty much eats, breathes, and lives figure skating. So when he's not out there skating, he's watching figure skating or he's reading about it.
With this sort of dedication and skill, what are his chances of making it?
I think he can do it. Like if he gets his mental game going and we get our support system together, we get him strong enough, he could do it.
In my notebook that I write down, I log my practices in. I open it up and there's the Olympic rings right there, and that's kind of like a reminder. I look at that and I'm like, all right, get to work.
So get to it, Luke. Something tells me he's at the ice rink right now.
Is it destiny or just fierce determination? Once again, JP Murrieta has this story about a champion spirit that many people just don't know about.
Without question, Albuquerque is a Lobo basketball town. Fans will pack the pit for every UNM men's basketball home game. On Saturdays in the fall, fans will file into University Stadium to check out the Lobo football team. But the one national title in the history of the school isn't football or basketball or even cross country or soccer. The one team title came down from the mountain.
We went to Lobo Club one time and were asked to speak, and they asked me what we were going to do that year. And kind of brash, I said, we're going to be national champions.
And that's what they did 10 years ago. The Lobo ski team won the NCAA title back in 2004. Then head coach George Brooks said his skiers had a dream and believed in themselves. So much, they even told other people they were going to win before the competition even started.
We had a sign that we carried, several signs we carried around with us for the whole year. And it says the 2000 UNM ski team 2004 national champions. And then beneath that, we said, it's up to you whether this is a question or a statement.
Brooks told us he knew it was destiny when they were heading to the slopes of the California-Nevada border the day of the race.
One morning as we were driving up, we looked off to our left, and there was a wolf standing in the snow right next to the road. And I told the athletes at that time, and I get goosebumps when I think about it, I said, you know, there's our omen. So this is the NCAA championship ring that we got in 2004.
How often do you break this out?
Oh, not real often. Yeah. You know, it's a little flashy for me. I'm not that type of flashy guy.
Every picture tells a story, and George Brooks has plenty of chapters leading up to UNM's only national championship. Those skiers who won the title went on to become teachers and professors, newspaper owners, and physical therapists. But Brooks says they'll always have that special season together. The NCAA has a map that they maintain. They showed all the schools of all the national championships in all states. The state of New Mexico was void of any one of those dots. So that was a big thing for us. We wanted to put that dot on the map. Hopefully there's more dots on that map soon. In Albuquerque, I'm JP Murrieta, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
This year, men and women's slopestyle snowboarding made its Olympic debut. We also saw a new event, team figure skating. Here in Albuquerque, we met a 14-year-old with the champion spirit, and he's determined to meet his potential in a handful of sports as well, and perhaps one day make it to the Olympic Games. Kim Tobin has his story.
When Mazie Reynolds takes the ice, she looks like any other goalie, hoping to successfully provide the last line of defense for her team.
They're like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll show you. I'll do it like twice as good as you can. And I can only do it with one hand.
You heard her correctly, one hand. Mazie was born that way. Mazie always knew she was different, and she was proud of it. When she was younger, her self-portraits would only include one hand.
Because Mazie acts like she doesn't have a disability when she's out there and she doesn't see herself with a disability.
Getting dressed does provide its obstacles. She has no problem suiting up with layers and layers of pads, but she does need a little assistance when it comes to tying the laces.
We should just tie the ends.
Mazie says she can't hold the stick and glove like most goalies.
And I just basically stick my hand in that little hole.
But she doesn't lack for a sense of humor when it comes to any potential wardrobe malfunction.
It falls off a lot, and so what my coach wants to do is put fake blood in there. Whenever it falls off, like just everyone on the team will like start yelling.
Mazie's story stretches beyond the borders of New Mexico and reached at least one star in her sport. Mazie recently got an email from gold medal winning Olympic hockey hero Micah Ruzioni.
Hey Mazie, this is Micah Ruzioni, captain of the 1980 Olympic hockey team. I just wanted to congratulate you on the sacrifices, hard work, and determination that you have made. Many of the same things that made our shutouts, and more importantly happiness, as you continue to enjoy whatever you want to pursue in life. Remember, always believe, we did.
The inspirational email wasn't the only gift. Shortly after, Mazie received a package. The gold medal winner sent a USA hockey jersey signed by the captain himself.
And then he custom signed it to me.
Mazie says she doesn't have Olympic aspirations right now, but she's got the gold medal winning spirit.
Just want to show people like anyone can do it.
And that is sometimes what the Olympics are all about. I'm JP Murrieta, KOB Eyewitness Sports 4.
And we have more of New Mexico's champion spirits coming up after this break. And welcome back to Eye on New Mexico. This week our eye is focused on our winter athletes with the champion spirit. And throughout the Olympic Winter Games in Sochi, we've featured the stories of people all across our state who dream big. There are kids all across the country preparing for our next Olympics. One kid in Santa Fe could be one of those in the next games in South Korea. The young figure skater shows us his champion spirit.
For 12-year-old Jun Hong Chen of Santa Fe, it all started with a friend's birthday 9 years ago. The party was at a skating rink, and Jun Hong loved it.
When you skate, I like that cold breeze on you, kind of. And just doing jumps and spinning, I like that.
Over the years, his love of skating has grown, so has his talent. And he has a dream about where this is all leading.
I want to go to the Olympics, the 2018, and hopefully 2022.
The road there includes day after day of warm-ups, practice, and mastering those eye-popping jumps.
Yeah, it's really pretty fun, yeah. Well, until you fall, then that's not so fun. Kind of just like falling on concrete.
In the first few months after he started jumping, Jun Hong says he cracked his helmet from falling so many times. But that didn't stop him.
That just gave me confidence to like do more jumps and learn more.
He's mastered the double axel, and now he's working on the triple sow cow and triple toe loop.
Yeah, I'm working on these triple jumps, and I always fall on them, but they're fun when you're in the air.
It's 4 years until the Winter Games in Korea, and Jun Hong would love to put his home state in the international spotlight.
I kind of come from like a small state that nobody really knows about. So if I get into the Olympics, then kind of make New Mexico a bit popular.
He's been on the slope since he learned to walk, and he's been a champion almost every step of the way. Our JP Murrieta introduces us to a UNM skier who is liking his chances in the 2018 Winter Olympics.
It's a sport where a fraction of a second means the difference between first and last. And it feels like UNM skier Yonas Rossington is even closer to making his dream come true. Yonas hopes to ski for his home country of Finland in the 2018 Winter Olympics. As you can imagine, growing up in a country like Finland, he started skiing when he was about a year and a half old. His mom ran a ski school close to their home.
She would take me and my brother out there every day and teach kids how to ski, and we would be over there and just hang out, and then when we were old enough we could start skiing ourselves and we would ski there all day. And
Yonas took to skiing like a fish to water. He says he loves the variety of challenges every day.
When you go out ski racing, it's like the weather changes, the snow conditions change, and then maybe if the 2 days are the same, the coaches can set totally different courses. And
no matter what the course, he seems to master it. Yonas won the NCAA men's slalom national title last year, one of his 4 victories in 2013.
I remember going in there and knowing that I can win, but to actually pull it off was pretty cool. It was like the first big thing I've ever won.
But it certainly won't be his last. Yonas went to Europe in December and won the World University Games. He then had the opportunity to ski in 3 World Cup events.
It was awesome to be out there and train with the top guys in the world and see that I'm actually not that far out from everyone. I mean, I have to do a lot of work still, but I'm pretty close there. So
close that he thinks his chances of making the 2018 Winter Games could be a reality.
If I just work hard and put my mind to it, I'm sure I can get in there, and that'll be awesome to ski for my country and for the school and stuff like that.
A fraction of a second is all it takes for the dream of a lifetime to come true. In Albuquerque, I'm JP Murrieta, KOB Eyewitness Sports 4.
Behind every Olympic athlete is a coach who also puts in long hours and hard work. Today, we look at the champion spirit from a coach's point of view, a coach who practices what he preaches.
Some are just driven people, but some are totally committed and have a love for the sport.
Klaus Webber knows the champion spirit when he sees it. He was born in Switzerland, the son of a French professional soccer player, but it was in America and New Mexico that he made his own mark. He led the UNM Lobos to historic highs coaching cross-country skiing, and then put UNM soccer on the path to success.
So that's perfect, passing on the ground.
And since 2002, he's been coaching high schoolers at Bosque.
Good. Bring it inside.
He says the most dedicated athletes have a combination of passion, and sacrifice.
Sacrifice also can be translated into love, into really caring for your sport.
It's a love that Webber himself shares. He is a regular competitor in the Mount Taylor Quadrathlon. That's biking, skiing, running, and snowshoeing at high elevation.
You know, I'm 71 this spring. It's no longer that I'm first or last. It's just a matter of finishing an event. What do you tell people when you do a 100-mile run or in the mountains like Leadville or the Western State? People say that's insane. And you say, no, it's just a day and a night in the mountains, because we all have that ability. It's believing it that you can do it and then lead up to that.
I hope when I'm 71, I'm in that good shape. That was Tom Joles reporting. Our next story, a New Mexico man is proving that anyone who shows dedication and passion can have a champion spirit. He's a small businessman who found his new passion is speed skating, and in just a few short years, he's already placed among the top in the region. Kim Tobin has his story.
You have to really pace yourself. We skate up to 30 miles an hour.
By day, Jamie Shelton runs his own bookkeeping business in Santa Fe. By night, or very early in the morning, he's training for his newest athletic high, speed skating.
Speed skating was one of those things that, you know, you see it on the Olympics or you see it on television, and it's one of those things you just kind of fantasize about, like, wow, they're going so fast and it looks like so much fun.
Shelton has always been active, but he never knew he'd love speed skating until he read an article by a Santa Fe trainer 4 years ago. So he gave it a try, and he was a natural.
The first time you reach down and you touch the ice on a corner is like, oh my gosh, I'm a big player now.
After training for a couple years, he started competing in regional races in Colorado, and he took home the gold in 2012.
It's easy to go fast. That's the easy part. Staying up, having the stability, and being able to concentrate and stay on your line are the most important things.
Shelton says he skates because he loves it. And he says if you want to try something out of your comfort zone, you have to enjoy it and do it for yourself, not for anyone else.
I come out here 3 times a week, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning because it's what I want to do. And if it's what you really want to do, it will just come to you.
Reporting in Albuquerque, Kim Tobin, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
The road to the Olympic Games can take surprising detours. For one local woman, the road takes her through an Albuquerque high school and into a sport where she never competed before, and ultimately to the U.S. Olympic team. Our Tom Joles has more.
Deanna MacGillivray teaches phys ed at Highland High School. These days, you'll find her coaching a group of energetic students in the eye-popping acrobatic sport of parkour.
1, 2, 3.
But that's not where she started, and that's not her final destination. This Olympic story starts with rugby. As a member of the U.S. national team, she failed to qualify for the Olympics. She thought the dream was over, until she was inspired by Albuquerque's young people. The students had been teaching each other parkour tricks.
Until Miss MacGillivray came and we told her, and she's like, yeah, of course, we'll do it.
A lot of these kids don't have some of the resources for other things, but the world is always going to be out there, outside.
And the Hardcore Parkour Hornets Club was born. Next, the desire to start a handball team at Highland. MacGillivray reached out to a national coach in Alabama to get help with resources for a new team.
He said, oh, we've got a tryout coming up here soon. Just come fly out and check it out. And I went for just an experience, not expecting anything. And by the end of the tryout, the coach was just like, yeah, we want you.
Committing to Team USA means leaving New Mexico this summer for a residency training program and ultimately to Brazil in the 2016 Summer Games.
We like her, we wish she can stay, but as we all know, she's in the Olympics, so we're proud of her for doing that.
They taught me to just be as courageous as them, or just to be a kid with them.
And it feels very appropriate that we salute all of the parents who make sacrifices for their champion children. You're about to meet a super dad who is helping his kids achieve their dreams of skating in the Olympics someday.
10 years ago, this skating rink in Santa Fe would be an unlikely place to find Jin Joo Chen. He's a scientist who trained at MIT.
I have a PhD in aerospace engineering, and so when I approach skating, it's a little bit like physics experiment, right?
His kids are the reason he's here. They fell in love with figure skating, and Dad wanted to be part of it.
They get on the ice, they were always very happy, and they enjoy what they were doing. So I think having fun was the biggest focus we had.
That focus got more serious as it became clear these kids were really talented. It was recommended his daughter go to Colorado Springs to train for the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea. But his job was here. So Chen says he made skating a part of his job too, adding coach to his resume.
It's just like a bungee cord.
And like the top-tier coaches, he uses a pole harness to help students land those amazing triple jumps. He says the pole gives just enough lift to give the skater more time to rotate and more confidence.
You don't want them to keep falling down, and they'll get discouraged, and they'll get injured, and they will fear the jump.
And Chen decided he needed to learn to skate too, to really understand the process. His daughter is following her dream in Colorado Springs now, and her scientist skater dad knows this is part of the journey.
You know, you train so hard and you go to competition, it's not a guarantee you're going to do well. So I think the biggest thing from learning from skating is not to give up.
We are thankful to all of the champions with the winning spirit for sharing their stories with us. Tom Joles and Danielle Tedesco are with you this evening for Eyewitness News 4. Don't forget, the closing ceremonies of the Sochi Olympics are tonight right here on KOB4. Have a wonderful morning, everybody.